Men notice everything in intimacy. Every sigh, every hesitation, every look that says, "Are we done yet?" Or "Am I doing this right?" They might not say it out loud, but trust me, they feel it. And here's the twist. While women often think men are these simple, always ready, pleasure-driven creatures, they're not as simple as you think. Because behind that confident exterior, every man has secret complaints, things he'd never tell you directly. Not because he's hiding something, but because he's terrified of hurting your feelings or being seen as ungrateful. He doesn't want to come across as that guy who nitpicks in the most vulnerable moment. So he stays quiet. But that silence, it builds frustration. It makes him feel unseen, unheard, and over time, disconnected. And ladies, this is where the real truth comes in. Men don't crave just the physical act. What they want, what they ache for is connection. They want to feel desired. They want to feel chosen. They want to feel that the woman they're with is there, not just physically, but emotionally. Because for a man, the biggest turn on isn't what you do. It's how you make him feel. But here's the funny thing. Most of the things men complain about in sex aren't even about what happens under the sheets. They're about energy, about emotion, about how safe or confident he feels in your presence. They're about moments when he senses you're disconnected, self-conscious, or just performing. So today, I want to pull back that curtain. We're going to talk about what men really say when they talk privately about sex, not the locker room nonsense, not the bragging, the real complaints, the things they wish women would stop doing, and the things that make them fall in love all over again when you get them right. Because once you understand these 5 truths, not only will you connect with him deeper than ever, you'll make him remember you as the woman who finally got him body and soul. Ready? Let's go deeper. Let's start with one of the biggest unspoken frustrations men have, when intimacy starts to feel like a performance instead of a connection. You know what I mean? When everything feels too rehearsed, too perfect, too focused on doing it right, rather than feeling it right. And here's the truth. Men notice it instantly. They can tell when you're lost in the moment versus when you're stuck in your head wondering if you look good, sound right, or doing enough to please him. See, most men don't crave a flawless performance. They crave presence. When a woman is truly in the moment, when she laughs, breathes, teases, responds naturally, it's electric. It's not about what move you make or how it looks. It's about the energy between you. When you're not performing, you become magnetic. You make him feel safe to be real too. And that's what creates unforgettable chemistry. Many women have been subtly conditioned to overperform during intimacy. Maybe it's from movies, social media, or just years of hearing that you have to keep a man interested. So you focus on the external, your hair, your body, your facial expressions. But in doing so, you accidentally step out of the experience. And when you step out, he feels it. Because instead of connecting with you, he's connecting with your performance. Now, here's what men won't tell you out loud. When a woman relaxes, when she lets go of control, when she laughs mid-moment, or whispers what she feels in that exact second, that's when he feels the most turned on. Not because of what you did, but because of how real it was. It tells him you trust him enough to be yourself. That's what every man secretly wants, not a show, but genuine emotion. Think about it. The most passionate moments you've ever had weren't perfect. They were raw, messy, maybe even a little awkward, but they were real. That's what creates emotional intimacy. That's what stays in his memory long after the moment is over. When you're in your head, you create distance. But when you're in your body, when you're breathing, feeling, and responding naturally, you pull him in. You tell him without words, you don't have to be perfect with me. And that's incredibly freeing for a man. It allows him to stop performing too. Suddenly, you're not two people trying to impress each other. You're two souls meeting in the middle. So if you catch yourself thinking, am I doing this right? Pause, take a breath, look at him, touch him, feel his energy instead of analyzing it. Let yourself melt into the experience. Don't worry about the lighting, the angle, or how you sound, because none of that matters when the connection is real. Men want to feel your presence, your warmth, your spontaneity. They want to know that you're not just doing something with them, you're experiencing something with them. So drop the performance. Stop trying to impress him. Start trying to connect with him. That's what turns him on. That's what makes him remember you. Because at the end of the day, the most irresistible woman isn't the one who performs perfectly. It's the one who's fully, unapologetically present. When you let go of perfection and lean into authenticity, you stop having intimacy and start sharing it. And trust me, that's the kind of moment that lingers in a man's mind long after the lights go out. Let's talk about something men secretly crave but rarely ask for: feedback. Now, I'm not talking about giving a detailed review like you're filling out a survey form afterward. I mean real-time, genuine, emotional feedback. The kind that tells him you're not just there, but you're feeling it. Because here's the thing: silence for a man can be confusing. Most men are not mind readers. They rely on your energy, your sounds, your body language to understand if what they're doing is working for you. And when you go quiet, even if you're enjoying yourself, he doesn't know that. He starts overthinking. Is she okay? Is she bored? Am I doing something wrong? And suddenly, instead of being in the moment, he's in his head doubting himself. See, men don't just want to perform well, they want to connect well. That they want to know that what they're doing makes you feel good. It's not about ego, it's about affirmation. Every man wants to feel like he's pleasing the woman he's with, like he's enough, like he's creating that spark for you. When you give him even a little feedback, a breath, a whisper, a small reaction, it's like oxygen for his confidence. And here's the beautiful part: you don't need to exaggerate. Men can tell when it's fake. What melts them is authenticity. A simple, soft "I like that," or a subtle sound that escapes naturally, it changes the entire dynamic. It tells him he's doing something right, and that encourages him to do even better. It becomes a loop of connection. You respond, he reacts, the chemistry deepens. But when there's nothing, no sound, no touch, no expression, he feels disconnected. He starts to question whether you're even emotionally there. And that uncertainty can quietly build distance between you. Because to him, silence doesn't mean peace, it means disinterest. Think about it this way: men express love through action, and they feel love through response. When you respond, even subtly, you're telling him, I feel you, I'm here with you, you matter. That reassurance doesn't just boost his confidence, deepens the emotional bond. A lot of women stay quiet because they don't want to seem too vulnerable, or they worry about doing too much. But trust me, men find feedback incredibly sexy, not because of what you say, but because it shows you're engaged. You're participating, you're not holding back. Even outside the physical, feedback matters. A simple conversation afterward, or "I loved when you did that," or "that moment felt amazing," can transform the relationship. It's not criticism, it's communication. It tells him that you're open, safe to talk to, and that you value honesty. And that emotional safety, that's the foundation of mind-blowing chemistry. So the next time you're together, remember, he's not looking for applause, he's looking for connection. You don't have to perform, you just have to respond. Let him see it in your eyes, hear it in your voice, feel it in the way you touch him. Because when you start giving feedback, you do something powerful. You turn intimacy from something he does into something you share. And that's where everything changes. That's when he stops guessing and starts truly connecting. Men fall for women who make them feel seen. Feedback is your secret way of doing that. Softly, emotionally, and in a way that keeps him thinking about you long after the moment ends. Let's talk about something that silently eats away at a man's confidence: comparison. Now, most women don't even realize they're doing it. It's not always intentional or cruel. Sometimes it's just a small, innocent comment like, "My ex used to do it this way," or "I read that most guys prefer when women." But here's what you have to understand: for a man, even the slightest hint of comparison can sting more than you think. Men want to feel like they are the one, not just another chapter in a story. They want to feel like this moment, this connection, is uniquely yours and his. Because when a man lets his guard down, when he gives you that level of vulnerability and closeness, what he fears most is feeling replaceable. Even subtle comparisons, whether it's to a past partner, a celebrity, or some ideal version of a man, can quietly tell him he's not measuring up, and that instantly shifts his energy. Suddenly, he's not present anymore. He's not focused on you, he's focused on whether he's enough. And that self-doubt, it kills the natural rhythm between you. Here's the truth: most men don't want to compete with your past or your fantasies. They just want to win with you now. They want to feel like what you're building together is something that can't be compared to anyone else. because it's personal, real, and alive. When you bring up other people, even casually, it pulls him out of the connection and into his head. He starts questioning, does she still think about him? Does she wish I was more like that? Am I disappointing her? And once those thoughts start running, he's no longer present. He's performing again, trying to prove something instead of simply being. And here's what most women don't realize: even non-verbal comparisons can hurt. For instance, mentioning how attractive another guy is too often, or talking about a movie scene where the man does something perfectly, can plant small seeds of insecurity. You might mean it innocently, but to him, it feels like a shadow hanging over the connection. Now, does that mean you can never talk about your past or express preferences? Of course not. The difference lies in how you say it. Instead of saying, my ex used to do this, try saying, I really love when you do that. Instead of pointing out what someone else did better, emphasize what he makes you feel. Shift from comparison to appreciation, because here's what happens when you do. He relaxes. He stops competing with ghosts from your past and starts fully showing up for you. He becomes more playful, confident, and emotionally open, because now he feels safe. And when a man feels safe, that's when he gives his best. Every man, no matter how confident he seems, has a deep desire to be enough. When you make him feel like he's winning with you, when you show him that what he does makes you happy, that who he is makes you melt, he'll go to the ends of the earth to keep that feeling alive. Comparison breeds distance. Appreciation breeds connection. One makes him pull away, the other makes him want to give more. It's that simple. So the next time you catch yourself about to compare, pause and redirect. Focus on what he brings to your life that no one else could. Let him know that what you share isn't just physical, it's personal. That it's not about being better than anyone, it's about being yours. Because once a man feels that he's not being compared, cherished, you unlock something rare. You become the woman he feels safe with, the one he trusts enough to be completely himself around. And that right there is where the magic happens. No competition, no ghosts from the past, just you and him, fully present and fully connected. Let's talk about something that might surprise you. Men love emotion. They might not always say it, and sure, they might act like they're all calm and composed. But deep down, men crave emotional connection more than they'll ever admit. What confuses them, though, is when a woman holds back when she's physically there, but emotionally guarded, when she's present, but not open. See, most women hold back emotionally for one simple reason: fear of being too much, too soft, too vulnerable. You've been told to be strong, to not need anyone, to stay in control. So even in moments of intimacy, you keep part of yourself tucked away, the part that feels, expresses, and connects on a soul deep level. But here's what men really want. They want that part of you. The raw, unfiltered version. The woman who lets her eyes soften when she looks at him. The one who doesn't hide behind pride or hesitation. The one who lets him see what she feels without needing to say a word. That's what makes him feel truly connected. That's what makes him feel trusted. When a woman opens up emotionally, it changes everything for a man. It tells him, you're safe with me. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to perform. And in that moment, something powerful happens. He starts to open up too. Men are actually emotional creatures by nature, but they've been trained to hide it. Society teaches them to be strong, stoic, and in control. So when they find a woman who lets her guard down, who expresses her feelings freely, it gives them permission to do the same. Suddenly, it's not just physical chemistry anymore, it's emotional intimacy. And here's the beautiful part: you don't need to try to be emotional. You just have to stop suppressing it. Stop overthinking how you'll be perceived. Stop worrying that being vulnerable makes you weak. Because in a man's eyes, your emotion isn't weakness, it's depth. It's what sets you apart from everyone else. Think about the moments that truly connect people. It's never the perfect, polished ones. It's when you accidentally tear up, when you laugh uncontrollably, when you admit, this moment feels amazing. It's those moments of realness that bond two people at their core. Now, holding back doesn't always mean you're cold or detached. Sometimes it's subtle. Maybe you deflect compliments with humor. Maybe you avoid eye contact when things get too intense. Maybe you distract yourself with small talk when silence feels too vulnerable. But to him, those small walls added up. He starts feeling like there's a part of you he can't quite reach. And when a man feels like he can't reach you emotionally, he starts to pull back physically. It's not rejection, it's confusion. He feels like something's missing, but he can't put it into words. Because the truth is, what men want most during intimacy isn't perfection, it's presence. Men remember the woman who made them feel something, the one who looked at them and made them forget the noise of the world, the one who wasn't afraid to show emotion, to let her heart be seen. That's the energy that lingers in their mind long after the moment ends. So if you've been holding back, thinking that keeping control makes you safer, try doing the opposite. Let go a little. Let him see you, not the version you think he wants, but the version that feels. Because when you show emotion, you don't lose power, you gain a connection, you become memorable, you become real. And that's something no surface level encounter could ever replace. Men fall for women who make them feel seen, needed, and trusted. When you stop holding back emotionally, you don't just open up your heart, you open up his. And that, more than anything, is what makes him stay. This one stings a little, because it's one of the biggest silent heartbreaks for men. When intimacy starts to feel like an obligation instead of a desire, when it feels like something that has to be done rather than something that's shared. And trust me, then men can feel that difference instantly. See, for most men, intimacy isn't just about the act itself. It's about what it means. It's about being wanted. It's about feeling chosen. When a woman touches him, looks at him, or reaches for him first, it tells him, you still excite me, you still matter. But when it starts to feel routine, mechanical, or done out of pity or duty, it quietly breaks something inside him. Because here's the truth, men want to be wanted, not tolerated. They want enthusiasm, not endurance. They crave that spark in your eyes, that energy that says, I'm here because I want you, not because I have to, but life gets busy. You get tired, stressed, overwhelmed, and before you know it, what used to be exciting becomes something you fit in around everything else. You go through the motions trying to keep peace or meet expectations, but the passion, the emotional connection starts to fade, and men feel that deeply. Even if they don't say a word, they sense when your energy changes, when your touch is hesitant instead of warm, when your eyes drift away instead of locking in, when it feels like your body is there, but your mind is somewhere else. That emotional disconnection leaves him feeling undesired. And for a man, that's devastating. Now, this doesn't mean you should fake enthusiasm. What men truly want isn't constant availability, it's genuine desire. Even if you're not in the mood, showing that you still see him, that you still find him attractive, makes all the difference. Sometimes it's not about what happens in the moment, it's about how you make him feel leading up to it. A compliment, a soft touch, a playful tease, a whisper. These little gestures reignite that spark without any pressure. You see, men interpret desire differently than women. For many women, intimacy is something that grows from connection. But for many men, intimacy creates connection. It's their way of expressing love, care, and reassurance. So when it feels one-sided or mechanical, it's not just disappointing, it's emotionally painful. It tells him he's no longer wanted. Even if that's not what you mean at all, what melts a man's heart is knowing that the woman he loves still chooses him, not out of habit, but out of excitement. When you bring even a little playfulness back, when you flirt again, when you touch him unexpectedly, when you look at him like he's the only man in the room, you awaken something powerful. You remind him that he's not just your partner, he's your man. And here's the secret, that energy feeds both of you. When you approach intimacy not as a duty, but as an opportunity to connect, it transforms the entire experience. It stops being something you have to do and becomes something you both look forward to. Even if the frequency changes, the quality matters more. Passion doesn't mean every encounter has to be fireworks. It means it's real, intentional, and emotionally alive. It's that soft laugh, that slow kiss, that unspoken, I still choose you. So don't let intimacy become another task on your to-do list. Let it be a conversation between souls, messy, beautiful, imperfect, but alive. Because when a man feels like he's still desired, still wanted, still seen, he gives more. He becomes more patient, more romantic, more emotionally available. Desire creates devotion. So the next time you're with him, let go of the pressure. Forget the checklist. Just be there. Smile. Touch him like you mean it. And remind him, not with words, but with presence, that he's still the man who makes your heart skip. That's what turns a routine moment into something unforgettable. That's what makes love last. So here's the truth, ladies. Men may not always say these things out loud, but they feel them deeply. Every time he senses you're holding back, comparing, or just going through the motions, it chips away at that quiet part of him that just wants to be seen, wanted, chosen. Because underneath all the bravado, men crave something far more intimate than just the act. They crave connection. When he feels like you're right there with him, laughing, touching, being present, he relaxes, his walls fall, and suddenly it's not about performance anymore. It's about passion. It's about that beautiful rhythm two people create when they trust each other enough to be raw, messy, and real. So stop overthinking. Stop trying to do everything. Right. Start feeling everything instead. Be in the moment. Breathe him in. Let him feel that you want him, not just that you're with him. That's the kind of energy that turns physical connection into emotional fireworks. And if you found yourself nodding through this video, share it. Because the more we understand each other in love, the less we have to guess. Let's stop the silent complaints and start creating the kind of connection that neither of you ever